as I said, a few minutes, and I'll be right back. And so we're going to do next episode, episode 41. And this will probably be a shortened episode, probably 15 minutes the most, maybe 20. But this will be the end of chapter 12. And next time we meet, in several days from now, will be chapter 13. Still being kind of separated. We're on the verge of getting back together reluctantly because, she kind of found out she was not paying the mortgage payment with the money I was giving her. And the house sort of got behind. And I was there constantly, all the time. But that was kept from me, that secret was kept from me until one of the kids told me that the house was getting behind, and I came across some letters that said we were fixing to be evicted. So, eventually I had to force myself to move back in, even though we never resolved anything. And that'll happen soon because, the house is kind of in disarray. The kids were missing out of school. They had to go to summer school. And she wasn't paying the mortgage. I don't know what she was doing. But I've been defiant in all of it. I was just hanging tight. I was just hanging in there. I've been doing the best that I can. Which gives the backdrop for the next poem, The Valiant Warrior. And The Valiant Warrior was in response to the separation and the eventual reunification to lead to something a little bit more uglier as far as separating and divorce. But, things were as it is, as they were. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. It took only a few more weeks for me to make the decision. I was over there, she was on the couch, and of course I told you about this. I was massaging her back and everything, and she rolled over, and she wanted me to massage her front. The next thing you know, we're on the floor having sex. And of course, a few weeks after that, I finally ended up having to move back in. At first, it was like we were just starting from scratch. Sex 4, 5, 6 times a week. I guess she was trying to make up for lost time. I guess I don't know. And it was rocket sex. It was crazy. It was wild. I mean, it wasn't just like I said. It was like we first met again. And I was kind of content. I was kind of content with it. And she said, we can move back in, and we'll give it a couple of years. And if a couple of years we still can't figure this out, we still can't agree, we'll go back to the way they were, and we can you can go back to your grandpa's, or live somewhere else. I can live somewhere else. We can split everything up here, and get the kids on the weekends, and yada yada yada, and go back to just hunky dory stuff. So this was starting to be a challenge to my psyche. And is she serious about this, or are we going to try to work this out, or is she up to something? I didn't have time to figure out whether she was up to something, because that was not on my repertoire. What was on my agenda was getting the house back in order. So I was set about spending most of my paycheck in the kitchen house payment up. I called the mortgage company, explained to them what was going on, worked out a deal with them, and we worked on getting the house. We finally pulled it out of foreclosure. I did it single-handedly myself, even though I didn't have enough money to do so with. Very little help from her. I did it mostly myself. But we did. I got it out of foreclosure that time. And that's the backdrop to this next point. The valiant warrior. It's just, giving the indication that I'm not going to quit. I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep fighting no matter what. Something big is fixing to happen, and I'm determined to get to that big event. And so that's how I came about writing The Valiant Warrior. So here we go. The Valiant Warrior. The sadness and frustration, all the pain and anger along, stressed to the very point, to the point of no return. A battle so hard fought, so valiantly but in vain. To the bitter end it has come, a loss taken upon the chin. A heart so ripped out, taken from the very soul, a warrior brought to his knees, weeping from the hurt so imminent. He will not falter nor surrender. He will not bend or be denied. Back from the ashes he will rise, bigger and stronger than before. The taste of defeat made him bitter, but the bitterness will soon end. His confidence level is very low, but will too begin to rise. And so, with a triumphant shout, the valiant warrior rises again. His resilience comes through in the end, because he simply will not fade away. All right. As I said before, this is a battle that was going to be ugly, because this was just the beginning of it. This is fixing to end up being one of the biggest trials of my life up to this point. And everything I've gone through, everything I've been through, everything I've endured has all led me to this upcoming event. Because I answered the phone one day. Well, I didn't answer. I went to answer the phone, but the phone had stopped ringing, and I caught a voicemail. And the voicemail was that of a guy expressing his love for Rhonda. Come to find out, this dude was their delivery guy. And it had been 2 years to the day when I found out about this. So that kind of tells me that this thing was all set up. I was set up. I was set up to come back to the house so she can have a reason to leave. And it ended up being that way. We found when I found out. And what even hurt me worse is Joey and Heather hid it from me. They helped her hide it. And then bitched at me because I found out about it. Well, you shouldn't answer the phone. You shouldn't listen to the fucking voicemail. Well, it's our phone. How am I not supposed to listen to the fucking voicemail when it's the phone we all use? So that hurt even more. I found out they were helping her hide the affair. I couldn't move on. When we were separated, I couldn't move on. I tried to hook up with some different women, but none of them came through. Apparently, she was okay with it, and they hooked up. And she would sneak out and go to Malvern, which is about 20 miles away, have sex with them. I didn't come back and get back in our bed.
Weird behavior, don't you think?
So, and she ended up jumping state with him, going to Texas. He lived in Texas. She dropped her job, dropped everything she had, left me with a drug-induced stepdaughter and twins to raise on my own. While she went to Texas, try to get away from all of it. He ended up buying her a car. Ended up getting a job down there. And I was stuck with a house. I had just pulled out of foreclosure. And now I was fixing to go back into foreclosure because I had no way of making the house payment. I had friends come in to try to help me pay the house payment. And I kept it going for a while. Over quite some time.
You definitely fought for it.
I fought for it. But Christmas that year, come back from my mom's, the only van I had left, the only transportation I had left, broke down on me just outside of Conway. Christmas Day. Broke down on me just outside of Conway. Yes, sir. And for a year and a half, almost a year and a half after that, I had to walk back and forth to work. I had to get my doctors, my eye appointment, the dentist appointments for the boys close by, so they were within walking distance. I had to bum rides from Grandpa and whoever else was available to go get groceries because I had to go get on SNAP. I couldn't afford it. I began to hit church banks left and right. I even had a church bank. One Christmas, I had 4 church banks because I wasn't going to be able to give the kids a Christmas. I had 4 church banks and the kids had a Christmas. Only through my efforts do they have a Christmas. Because I made damn sure they was going to have a fucking Christmas, regardless of what she was doing to me. Regardless of how many people Heather ran off with her drug-induced rage, people still tried to come in to help me. And one was my sister, Amy. She came down there and we started to clean the place up because we knew things were getting pretty bad. We broke down a camper shell. We took a trailer and rented the trailer and took all the stuff to the aluminum recycling plant. Got money for that. I had to quit the sure job that I had to take a job at a mom and pop shop, so I could be home to watch the twins, to take care of them. Because I had people taking care of them. But I had to stay on the phone quite a few times with them because I had to make sure everything was. I had to call Howard House quite a few times just to kind of check base with this job I took. And the Waffle House ladies, the waiters, they got pissed off about it because I left them, but they don't understand they don't understand the reason why I had to. Even though I tried to explain to them, why I had to leave, they just walked off and didn't want to hear about it. So I said, fuck it, whatever.
They felt abandoned.
They felt abandoned. And of course, well, I felt abandoned because I had to make choices that I wasn't ready for. But like I said, everything I'd gone through, all the pain, the suffering, it led me to this point here. And this was 2 years I was going to have to endure this kind of pain until I can figure out a way to get out of it. So this was the beginning of 2 years of being left at a house that was slowly dwindling in disarray.
Basically decaying.
Trying to take care of my twins. Trying to keep the help that kept coming in left and right, being drawn off left and right from my drug-induced stepdaughter, who had now had reason to leave her son hanging with me and the kids, and she would just go off and didn't say anything, and then come back until a day later, and I kind of found out why. She was getting high, doing a drug thing.
Which she's off of now.
Well, yeah, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that.
Thankfully.
But this is the only thing I was. This was just the beginning of a long series of pain. So there's no more trips to Magic Springs because I had no money, no transportation. So I did the best that I can to give these guys some holiday festivities. We did our Halloween own Halloween decorations was what I had. We had our own Thanksgiving dinner. We had our own Christmas party. Did our own Easter thing. Everything we did by ourselves. Even had our own fireworks display. And one time we had some fireworks left over, and we used some army troops, some toys of theirs, cowboys and Indians and little military. We set them up and threw bottle rockets at
We played war with them.
And we played war with them. We threw firecrackers at each other and into our little. I threw into his army set and pow, and they would throw them back into my army set and pow, and we even caught a tank on fire with a firecracker.
And it melted a soldier.
And it melted a soldier to it. It was fun. We did the best we could to have fun with what we had. Because I wanted them to try to keep their minds oblivious. Because they were still young. They were 6 going on 7 at the time. They just now turned 7. And I wanted to try to keep their minds oblivious to what was really going on. So this brought me back to the dreams my mother had when I was a kid. One of her dreams was there was a lot of destruction going on outside, and everybody was running into a building. And as the wall closed, I was left outside to fight the devil, to fight the bad guy. And my mom's heart sunk as the door closed, with me standing there waiting and preparing to fight. Another dream was of me fighting a dragon, with my family being protected inside a cave. And I actually killed the dragon. She ran to the preacher, trying to explain to him, trying to explain to her in a dream. The preacher said, well, the devil himself's coming after your son. He's coming after your son, so he's out to destroy him. But your son has heart, and he's going to fight against it. Basically, that's what the preacher told her. So he's going to be it's like a battle for my soul. And what I was witnessing here reminded me of that dream. And that dream is where the title of the poem comes from. Warrior stands firm. Like I said, this is just the beginning of a crucial period of my life. This was going to decide whether I had my sons or whether I lost my sons, whether I lost everything or I gained enough to keep fighting. And I had to be resilient. And I had to be strong. And I had to stand firm. I couldn't let her win. I couldn't let her do what she planned on doing. And in my opinion, she wanted me to fall. She wanted me to fail. She wanted me to throw in the towel and give her everything. And I was damn certain I was not going to do that. I'm not losing my sons. I'm not losing my home without a fight. I'm going to find a way to fight forward and find a way to give these guys the life they so deserve. And I was determined. And so, again, that's why this poem was written. Because it reminded me of that dream. It reminded me that this may be the very fight for my redemption. So with that said, we're going to read this poem, then we're going to end this segment, and the next time we meet, we will start chapter 14. Right now, we're going to wrap up chapter 13. It's chapter 13. It's chapter 12, ain't it?
It's a chapter.
It's chapter 12. We're going to wrap up chapter 12. We're going to start chapter 13 next. Yeah, it's chapter 13. I mean, the next chapter. So I told you.
Banana.
See, I told you this is going to be interesting
That's
because
a big ass banana.
these are going to be interesting how these do. Yeah. Chapter 13 starts harmonious gathering. Okay? So yeah, we're going to start chapter 13 next. This is going to be episode 40. This will be episode 42. We'll start chapter 13, the harmonious gathering. Like I said before, this is all ad lib. So we're going to be going back and forth, jumping around. And it's going to be hard to keep up with this because nothing is all straight from memory. In the meantime, like I said, we're going to read Warrior Stands Firm, and we're going to wrap up chapter 12. 2009. So, it's been 2 years since we got back together, and this is what happened, and this is where we're starting out. Warrior Stands Firm. Laying in bed about midnight, a vision comes into full view. A scene of a dragon rising from the ocean with many heads. A man with his family huddling behind him. The dragon breathing fire and standing tall. The man standing firm with only a bow and an arrow. The face-off begins. A short prayer is said. Lord, guide my arrow to the mark on the dragon's chest. The dragon lunges, the man leaps and bounds away. Each time he escapes the dragon's breath, he looks for his shot. With his family tucked away in a cave, he scrambles up a cliff to the top, coming face to face with the dragon. The dragon bellows and spreads himself out as if going for the final blow, but lo and behold, exposes the mark. The man readies the arrow, and the bow pulls back with all his might, and then lets go. Hitting the mark, dead center, the dragon cries in pain. The man standing strong as the dragon falls at his feet. A woman awakens from her sleep and pleads with the preacher as to what it means. The preacher replies, "The man is your son. A fight for his soul looms ahead." The woman tells her son of the dream and its meaning. The son is taken from it as if to say, "Wow, that's neat." But as the years go by and the son gets older, the dream seems to become real. He is hit with a number of trials. Each trial he overcomes, the stronger he becomes. The closer to the end, the more trials he faces. Little does the mother know, and he lesser still. The fight for his soul has just begun. And with that, my friends, we will end this chapter, chapter 12. A Warrior Stands Firm. Hope you enjoyed it. We next meet in several days from now. We will start chapter 13 and the harmonious gathering. In the meantime, be well, be good to each other.
And God bless.
God bless, and take care.